Yeah. Good. Sid, you good?
Yes, it is good.
All right, we'll start with the opening statement from Coach and then open up for questions.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Sydney, welcome. Yeah, here we go. We're down to one. So in a good spot. Yeah, excited to be where we are. I'm excited for still what's to come. I can't believe it. It'll be March when we play. That seems to have snuck up on us a little bit. Didn't play particularly well, or couldn't quite meet some of the standards the other day down in Florida. So we're going to get better from that and learn, I think, and have some better energy and maybe some execution as well coming up this weekend. But yeah, we'll recognize 5 seniors, all that have had different impacts on this program for sure, but 5 really just quality people, and but we'll celebrate them big time before the game, and then hopefully relax and go play and see what we can do Sunday, and just finish off the regular season. It's been a good one, and just want to keep getting better and improving and play as well as we can, obviously at the right time of the year, which would be in March.
What did you do well in the third quarter that you didn't do well in the first, second, or fourth?
I mean, the simple answer is played a little bit harder, made a few more shots, probably turned them over a little bit, which led to some easy offense, but just found a little better rhythm. Yeah, I wouldn't say we were going through the motions. That's not fair at all. And UCF played much better in getting the go-to kid back changes, their whole look. So it wasn't as simple as that. I'm making it much simpler than it is. But certainly we made some shots, hit some threes, got out in transition a little bit before that defense could set. They're like a top 40 defense in the half court, and so we didn't really want to have to play against that length and some of the things they can do defensively in the half court if we didn't have to. First, when you're not making layups and missing shots, that's what it called for in the first half, unfortunately. But then obviously in the third quarter, we got it going.
You've mentioned several times this year meeting standards. Statistical, more eye test things. What are some of those standards that you're talking about that you want to hit every game?
Yeah, I mean, both. It can be all of it, any of it. That one was probably not as statistical. I mean, it was that, but at the time, like through the first half, it wasn't maybe quite as much of that. Because I think if you stopped and you looked back, and even knowing at halftime, we defended well enough. They had 27 points. We missed a ton of layups. If we make a few more of those, we probably feel a little bit different about how that half went. But there was just the connectedness. I didn't think we were connected. We're stopping and looking for calls in the middle of the game. Things that are just like that's a standard that we don't do. Like we know better than that. And so just things like that were just, some are small, some are a little bit bigger. Nothing crazy. Just you got to play through some things, and just the way I just thought we were moving bodies. We were walking at times into huddles. Walking even like in live play, hands on knees during a live play, like just things that, we're better than that. So those were the things we just wanted to make sure we cleaned up. And if you do that, then, you saw the third quarter that could be pretty good. And then, but we lost the standard in the fourth quarter and didn't want to defend. And I think gave up 5 and 1s in the fourth quarter. Like that's a standard that's not quite to our level.
Mark, did you get to see that glass court they're going to use for the tournament?
We did, yeah. We spent some time on the glass court. Interesting, fun concept, all sorts of fun things that I think you can do. We saw everything from when you make a shot that the color changes on the court. You can, like the 3-point line, could change colors if you want to do things like that. Obviously, it can change from a basketball court to a pickleball court to a track to whatever the heck you want it to in a touch of a button. There's some stuff from a coaching standpoint that you could start drawing up plays and moving them around and actually showing them exactly where to go. And I think eventually it would go in motion too, so you could really run it through. So, yeah, the options are probably limitless, really. It felt for the most part the same. We didn't practice on it, but we were just there kind of shooting and messing around. But it felt about the same. It was raised. It won't be quite as raised as it was when we were there. And I wouldn't say they're dead spots, but you kind of feel some vibration to it because it's a raised floor. So that might take a little bit of getting used to, but I think once you got out there, it wasn't a whole lot different.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if you thought there'd be an acclimating to it when you get to Kansas City.
Could be a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Coach, you went into the year, I remember back in the summer when we did interviews, and of course you were talking about all the newcomers coming in and trying to get everyone on the same page and gelling, and obviously at that time you didn't know how it was going to look. Well, now we're on last game of the year. depending on how things go, you guys could tie for a conference championship. At what point did you kind of see that developing, or did you kind of maybe even know that in the summer and just holding the cards close to your vest, so to speak?
Well, yeah, I'm always probably hold the cards closer to the vest or cautiously optimistic guy, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I ever even really allow myself to get there. You're just, again, and I know it's so coaching cliche, but you're just process driven and you're just trying to get better, and I'm trying to evaluate your team. And yes, we had some new ones, so you're trying to figure out what I can do with them. And, can we be as good as we want to be defensively? What can we be offensively? Can we be better in the areas that we wanted to get a little bit better offensively? I've said this quite a few times. I think we got it for the most part right, and I think the kids that we got that were new gave us what we wanted or expected them to give, and so that's what's been really good. And obviously the returners have been good as well. And so I just think every time you play, we start going through the league, you gain confidence. When you go on the road, and we've been a little bit better on the road this year. Dropped a couple at home in the league that we would love to have back, but that's sports. That's the nature of it. You don't get them back. You don't get redos. It's what you are. And so just continuing to try to look forward. And if we're fortunate enough to beat Cincinnati and something else happens Sunday later, then awesome, and you're a Big 12 champion. And if not, we'll be a 2 seed, and that's pretty damn good too. And, you're playing for all sorts of NCAA stuff. So again, things that we're not talking about all the time, but when we get done with the year and reflect, I think we'll probably feel pretty good about it.
The subhead to that is that you did it the year after JJ, so to speak. I mean, you have this generational kind of player, and not every program survives losing a player like that. You guys have, and even done better. Surprised by that?
No. And JJ was phenomenal. Guys, good players graduate every year. My whole career, I've lost, really good players, conference players of the year, All-Americans, whether it's at the Division II level, mid-major level, you lose your leading scorer. It happens. We want to always be bigger than that. We want to be a program. And I think when you're a program, you have a great culture, you have a system, you're just getting new kids to buy into it. We do it differently this year, better or worse, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just different because the players are different. But the results have been similar. It's been that way for a lot of my career, that we've been fortunate enough to sustain success when we've lost really good players. So, as good as JJ was, and Kaya's and the others, and Kylie's and whoever else, was a part of that team that's not here, they were phenomenal. And that's we're not taking anything from them, but don't discredit this group by talking about those guys either, because this has been a little bit different in their own way, and they deserve that credit too.
Mark, how different has UCF and Cincinnati been since the first time you faced them both?
Well, different. We played UCF much sooner than we've played Cincinnati's. Been quite a few games since then. So everybody changed. I mean, every time you play, you change a little bit. Cincinnati's personnel's for the most part the same. UCF's changed because they got healthier. Playing people at home and road changes the feel and the dynamic a little bit too. So obviously we've played Cincinnati several times, in our tenure, multiple times a year. One time 3, I believe. One of the years we played them in the tournament as well. So there's some familiarity, obviously, there. But it looks like they're playing better. They're playing people close. They had TCU down at half, and TCU went on the big run in that third quarter, and then Cincinnati still punched back a little bit late. So they're certainly more than capable, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, changing defenses a lot. They've got a big-time scorer in Perry who's playing great right now. So, they've got our full attention, as I like to say, where we'll be fully locked into that scout and our preparation over the next couple days.
I don't remember the timeline with the expansion. Was your first year, did they still have the double round robin? You played every twice?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, would you like more rematches, or are you kind of okay, doing the 3 and then you play everybody?
Yeah, I don't know. In a league this big, that's not an option. I just think the tricky part when you're only playing maybe one team 3 times is the unbalanced schedule. So you get to conference tournaments and seedings and regular season champions. You don't play all the same teams. So it sometimes can be a little skewed. But other than that, we don't have many options. So it's probably just going to be the way it is when you get these super leagues with this many teams.
In terms of being able to do it differently this year, how much of that is because of Mimi's impact and the way that she plays the game?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, she was different than a Kaya, if that's that's the same position. So they just went about their job differently. Kaya was obviously a premier defender in the country and the steals and a good rebounder. Mimi's a good rebounder in a different way. Mimi scores it a little bit more than Kaya did and is a little more offensive minded. Didn't shoot as many threes as Kaya. Scores a little bit more in the paint, obviously, than Kaya did. Likes that little mid-range shot. Sometimes more than me, but that's okay. When it's going, it's a good thing for her, and it keeps us, well balanced. But yeah, they both were tough in their different ways. Mimi's experience has paid off. You can tell she's played in a lot of big games, and we get on the road. She's not intimidated. She's played against the Power Fives when she was at Norfolk. So she's been a really, really, really good player for us.
What was the recruiting story on her? Did you have to fight a lot of programs to?
I mean, yeah, there were some battles, and she had visited us, and then was visiting another school, and there was some back and forth and trying to get it done. But she was somebody we knew we wanted, so we were trying as hard as we could to see if we couldn't get that one over, kind of over the hump, so to speak, and get her committed. And we just felt good about what she was going to bring to the table and the experience that she had. And, she performed very well in the NCAA tournament against some of the Power Fives, and same thing when they played them during the year. We went back and looked at that and saw the production. So, it was a production-based decision for sure, and fit at the same time.
Obviously, you and Jordan have been through everything together pretty much. It's her final home game on Sunday. You'll get to keep coaching her, obviously, so I don't know if the emotions are the same for you as what they might be for her. Could you just kind of go into what senior night is for like a coach, knowing that you're going to still coach them for,
Yeah, it's not the last one by any means, which typically it hits you a little bit harder when it's the last one, or even maybe after that when you've had time to reflect. So, yeah, I'll probably try not to have emotion unless she has some emotion that might trigger it a little bit more. But I'll try to be the calm, cool, collected guy out there, But that's always the tricky part about senior days too. Do you want to do them? Before practice and let emotion, or before the game and let emotion come into play? Do you wait and do it after? But heaven forbid if you lose a game or something, that's not a whole lot of fun, so the timing of it's not great. We do a little celebration too with their families the night before. So, that may be the time to let some of the emotion, if you want to have it, come out then. But yeah, I think we'll probably be okay, but we've certainly been through it. I've said she's one of my favorites that I've ever coached, just because of the person she is and how hard she works. And obviously she's a talented player, and to choose to come to follow me here was, that meant a lot too. And she did it without even visiting at the time. She committed and then came on a visit after she had already said that she would come. So there was so much trust in her and me, and I think I've hopefully reciprocated it back with her. But yeah, we've been through some battles. So yeah, I'm pretty fond of that kid.
Did Cece's parents surprise her, or something was at the radio show? I feel like, and I kind of forget.
I think she knew they were coming this time. They have surprised her numerous times previously. Yes, like I think we took the foreign trip and they surprised her. We went to the Bahamas for the Thanksgiving tournament. They surprised her. So yeah, they've been known to do that. But I think this one was on the calendar just because of senior day.
Mark, back to Jordan. Obviously, you had a great deal of confidence that she could excel at this level, but was there a moment early on in her first year here that you really thought, okay, she's making a very quick transition, maybe quicker than you anticipated?
Yeah, really, honestly, no. I not much at all. If I go back to SFA, her first 7 games were, she looked like a freshman, and then from that point on, since then I thought she settled in and was one of the elite point guards in the country, regardless of what level she played at. So, I guess I was waiting to see it a little bit, but you're also playing some mid-major type schools early, that year too. So, and she settled in really quickly, and then you get to Big 12 play, and she was, by that point, I think, just doing what Jordan does. So I don't know if I ever had the aha moment, but certainly I felt that much confidence in her to even bring her with me that she would thrive in this environment.
You said 5 seniors. Does Cece have an option for another year?
No, I don't know. Not as of now. Rules could change tomorrow, as we know, but as of right now, no. She doesn't get the junior college kids that got that 1 year. That doesn't apply anymore. So,
with how simple this scenario standings are on Sunday, it's just your game and one other game. Does that keep your message pretty simple? Just win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even if it wasn't that, I think that's still the message. I mean, we control what you can control. We need to beat Cincinnati. If we do, we know what that means. If we can get a share of that Big 12 title, that would be crazy good, and only the second one we've ever had. So, yeah, we understand, but we've put ourselves in the position that we're in, and all we can control is trying to beat Cincinnati and getting better. So that's what we'll talk about. I think that game's after hours, right? Anyway, so we're not going to know anything.
I was going to ask that too. No temptation to scoreboard watch because they're after you.
Yeah, no, we won't be worried about that. I won't be asking Chris for any updates or anything like that as the game goes, which I don't know that I would do anyway, but just focus on task at hand.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll be back with me.